Massive game and a massive result for Barcelona as we take a look at La Liga's table. They are top, level on points with Real Madrid, but they've played a game less. Atleti 4 points back of the top two right now as it stands. Barcelona with that make-up game against Osasuna coming up on March 27th. This is some of the reaction from the papers. A big blow to the title race in Sport and Marca both saying the same thing. Barca, a big blow from them and really stamping their authority right now in this title race. Where does it leave them, Craig? Big favourites?
No. And I'll tell you why. And Barca fans seemingly don't want to hear this. Their front line, which wasn't brilliant yesterday for long periods, and don't forget, the 4-2 is a little bit, smoke and mirrors, because the fourth goal comes because Atleti are desperate and they tried a throw in across the edge of their own box, which they got caught out. And then the deflection, Lamine Yamal was the deflected goal that was the third goal. Was that this high line that they play was only bailed out by the forwards. Continuation of trying to run up the field and catch people offside got undone twice, at least twice in this game, and that's why they found themselves 2-0 down. Now, the argument is, are we going to score enough goals? And the evidence so far is probably yes. Are we going to score enough goals between now and the end of the season and all the major, the Copa del Rey, which is coming up, the Champions League, and domestically in the Liga, to offset the fact that we're going to get caught out at the back? And there's a big debate whether one of them is going to outweigh the other. But you cannot deny the two Atleti goals came from bonkers defending again, which I've always said could be the thing between now and the end of the season that catches them out. So, no, for me, they're not big favourites. They're in a good position, but boy, there are still some major deficiencies within this team, and they're not at the front end of the field. They're at the other end.
On the one hand, from an Atlético Madrid perspective, at least you do well. The good silver lining is you don't have Champions League football to contend with. The others two do. So we see how they cope with those continued midweek exertions. Sid Lowe made a point on the show yesterday, so excuse me if I butcher it, that for going back 13 weeks, the team sitting top of the table had not won. One exception when Barcelona did not play, which means kind of sitting top of the league has been a little bit of a poison chalice. Nobody's been able to really take command of that position, and as a result, build on it and force the other two to chase meaningfully. So all this just to suggest that this is going to go right down to the wire, kind of given what we've seen over recent weeks, and just kind of given the parity between all three of those teams. Any of those three in particular are a match on the day. Now, it just comes down to how you handle that pressure running in against the rest of the league. But this, for me, is a long way from over, because so many in the league have shown that they're able to take points off the top three at any given week.
Especially when your team is in the up. Now, look, the result also, when they're playing against a team like Atlético, what was the good part in the game? In the beginning, the system, the way Atlético plays and the tradition that we know, they sit and wait and have the patience, because incredible patience they have, to wait for their opportunity. Okay, they go up, and then later on you could see that energy that they lost, you understand, during the week with that big game for them, and then playing this game, another big one, you could see that took their toll on them, because physically you could see that they couldn't keep up with what they normally is like bread and butter for them, because the running, the fighting, they turning up, and the energy is sparking everywhere. They couldn't do that against Barcelona, because what Barcelona did, they kept the ball and made them moving around, especially at the end part when they started winning. They kept on playing with them and trying to get through it, because you could also see that Yamal was doing the opportunity that Yamal gets the first half. He didn't score that goal, but it was the way they cut right through them. And then, you understand, so that's why it's a situation we talk about. Of course, they will miss a player, but away from that, I feel like for Atlético, now, what Shaka highlighted, no Champions League playing might be a very important situation for them, because they lose so much energy the way they play. It could actually help them now and just focusing on one thing, while the other two are still fighting for the big trophy. I mean, they're both big, I mean, being champion of your country, but then also including the Champions League to it.
Well, they've got this big Copa del Rey game now against Barcelona coming up, second leg, 4-4 from the first one. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, they would want less games to have a push at this La Liga title, but that's another big competition they're out. So I'm imagining they are not looking to be going out the Copa del Rey just so that they can have a run in the league. So there's some big games to come up for both. They've just had, I mean, there's bad weeks in a football parlance, and there's really bad ones. And they're in particularly with the way that particularly with the way they've gone from a 2-0 lead to losing it like that, the deflections, and then the Alvarez penalty controversy in the Champions League game against Real Madrid. It can get worse than that, but not much.
Yeah.